Hi, and welcome to the Gospel Mom YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Amanda Welsh, and I'm a wife and homeschool mom to 4 kiddos. I use this channel to talk about education, homeschooling, and the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Welcome. Today, I want to talk about how we simplify our homeschool routine. As a full-time working mom to 4 kids, it's important to me that I pick things that are easy, but also going to be effective. I shared in my last video how I do this by incorporating read aloud books that will help incorporate other subjects and springboard conversations to learn about history, science, and geography. I'll put a link to that video in the description box below. But another approach I use to go with the flow is by incorporating what's already going on in the world, whether that be special events, national events, world events, holidays, or even events that are going on in our own life. I did this when I was pregnant with our 4th. We learned all about pregnancy and babies and their development. And then I also did this in 2024 when there was a presidential election. We found a free unit study all around elections. And here's an example of their map that they did for that, that we included into their journal. So here recently, we did this even with the Artemis II mission. So they launched for its flights into space, into the moon. And so we watched that launch together. And that sparked a lot of questions from the kids. They were asking questions about space, rocket ships, how does the rocket ship get to space, what kind of jobs are there at NASA, and more. So we used all of that to look up different things up. We're grateful that we have a very large home library, and so we pulled every book that we could off our shelf about space, and we spent time reading those together. So that's just another example of, to make things easier for myself instead of reinventing the wheel, I'm always listening for what's going on in the world, what kind of events are going on in our own life, what holidays are coming up. And then I'm also listening for any curriculums. There's so many free curriculums and unit studies out there, like with the election one, that was a completely free unit study that I was able to look for. So whenever I know of an event or a holiday or anything like that, I will even Google or look up to see, is there any free curriculum around the subject. So right now, we are doing that for Earth Day. So Earth Day is coming up this week, and I had heard on the radio about a nonprofit called Go Compost, and they offer a free curriculum for K through 12 students to learn about composting, and they're highlighting it and advertising it and trying to get it into the hands of as many kids as they can for Earth Day. So today I wanted to take some time to just explain again a way that we simplify our homeschool by already using what's going on and learning about that as a family. And I think that makes it more able for the kids to connect with it that way too. It's more relatable since they know that these things are actually happening. And I think it just is more exciting when they know these are real events or holidays or different things that are going on. So today I'm going to actually share with you this curriculum a little bit. We already did the first week. So I thought in case any other homeschool families are looking for some free ideas to do with Earth Day coming up, that I would share this with you. So let's go ahead and dive right into the curriculum. All right, so this is the Let's Go Compost site that I found that has the free curriculum that you can use any time of the year. You can do it for any time of year for a science educational program, but it seems especially meaningful with Earth Day just around the corner. If you want to find this, you'll go to letsgocompost.org, and I'll also put the link in the description box to that. It is a nonprofit, and they just share a little bit here around their programs, their mission, everything that they're trying to accomplish. It looks like they have many different things that they do. I looked more into the programs, and so if you're wanting to get the curriculum, you'll want to go to programs and schools. And then it shares the programs that they have. They have some hands-on things, and they also will provide compost materials to different schools. But for me, I entered our information here just to get the K through 12 curriculum. So you'll want to put your first and last name, your email address, your school name. So for this, I put homeschool and our hybrid program that we do. And then the city and state that your school would be in. So if it's homeschool, it would be whatever city and state that you live in. And it will take you then, you'll get a Canva link that will have all of the materials. I went ahead and I bookmarked all of the videos in the curriculum. And then I also downloaded all the files. I just thought that would be easier for myself than going to the Canva every single time that we wanted to use it. So let me move this over here so you can see it better. Okay, so this is the kindergarten classroom curriculum. So there's links for all of the full curriculum. So this is going to have the instructions for the instructor, the different things that you need to know about the unit, what you're going to be doing every week. And then each week it has a lesson overview, and then it has a sheet or activity that you can do with the kids. And again, with anything that I do, I don't tend to do everything that's included. I tend to pick the things that would make the most sense for our school and for our family. And we don't have a place where we can do composting really well, because part of the activities here is to actually have a compost and to put the worms in it, and you can see how things change over the 5 weeks. We are, however, it did get us talking about composting and the benefits of it, and so we did find a local business close to us that will do it for you, where they'll give you the bucket and they'll come pick it up like a garbage truck would. So that is something that we're going to start doing as a family that I think is really cool, that kind of sparked from this curriculum. There was a lot of things that I didn't realize. I just thought if you had food that would decompose, that it was safe to go in the trash. And so we learned a lot around how even that can impact the environment. So again, it will have it when you go in the Canva by grade. So I picked kindergarten and second because my two oldest, that's what they're in. And so this is the second grade, where it will have the worksheets and everything that you need to do. So when you go every day, or every week, I'm sorry, it'll have the presentation that you can do together, and you'll go through that, and there's videos, like I said. So I bookmarked and saved these videos in my YouTube. It'll have a question. Let me make this bigger. It'll have a question for the day, and then it has slides that you go through, and it will just introduce some facts. Sometimes it has like keywords that you can learn about. It talks about green versus brown materials, and we did learn a lot, honestly, through all of this. And it does recommend doing a compost journal. So again, since we don't have a compost yet, we're not doing this part. But it has a lot out here. It had a lot of great videos each week. Again, this is just for 1 week, has a lot of content in it. And then I liked the sheets, how they went with it. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but I did want to share this because I know Earth Day is coming up. And if you're like me, you're constantly looking for different ways to incorporate all the subjects into your school. And so I thought this was a really nice way to get some extra science. All of this, again, is free out here. There is a book that goes with the curriculum. We have not bought this book yet, but I do want to buy this book. I think it will be a nice addition to kind of reinforce everything that they just learned. And I also like that it will go to supporting this nonprofit. All right. Well, I will come back after I will stop sharing, and I'm going to come back to share a little bit more before we finish up. Thank you. Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed learning some about the Let's Go Compost nonprofit and the curriculum that they offer. I did want to share, so here's an example of, we did the first week. We plan on doing it for the 5 weeks. Here's the sheet from my kindergartner. I also had my preschooler do the same sheet. So it had their words that they needed to start memorizing for garden, soil, compost, grit, worm, browns and greens. And then it has a little worm that they can color, and they can put the different things that the worm can eat. And it says, draw food we can put in our bin. So we did that together. And then for my second grader, sorry, there was like some bells there. I was going to show you his sheet. I cut his up because I like to put, again, things into their journals. So it says, draw the red wiggler worms and the compost bin, show where they might live and what they might be eating. So he didn't actually want to draw, so he actually cut out pictures and put it on there. And then it also had to put it had a word bank, and you had to put the things that it could eat on one side and things it couldn't eat on the other. So he drew that. And then on his own, he was just getting a little bit creative, and he actually drew a picture of composting. So this person's throwing their apple into the compost bin, and there's some worms down there they're eating. So it's just kind of a funny drawing, but I thought it was neat that they were excited about it. And then as we're driving and we see things on the ground, we're like, is that something that could be put in a compost, or is that something that's not going to be good to put in a compost? So if we see like a plastic bottle, we'll say, is that going to be good? And they say no. So we talked a little bit about that and why it's important to recycle or throw things in the trash and not have it on the ground. So I just really liked this curriculum so far. Again, we're not doing this as like our full science or anything like that, but it's just another way to pull in additional things and make it easier for yourself to plan. And so overall, I just really hope that this resource was helpful, that it gives you ideas to inspire you to what's happening in your life. You can look at holidays, special events, everyday moments as educational content in your homeschool. If you have any tips for simplifying your homeschool, I'd love to hear them from you in the comments below. And don't forget, if this video was helpful, to like and subscribe. Thank you so much.